Good afternoon. Let's begin today's new lesson. For today's lesson, our new topic is modality. I think all of you know very well what does it mean modality, because from the grammar courses you learn the modality very well. Yeah, you know the modal verbs. Yeah, am I right?
Yes.
Now we will look through the PPT and modality. So. Here is given the outline of our PowerPoint presentation. So here is given propositional modality and event modality. Here you can see the types of the propositional modality. There is given two types, epistemic type and evidential type, and event modality, deontic type and dynamic type. So at the next pages, we can look through the what does it mean these types. The modality differs from tense and aspect in that it does not refer directly to any characteristics or the events, but simply to the status of the proposition. For example, John is at home. It's meaning that John may or must be at home now. John may or must come in now. John can solve this problem. English uses a modal verb to distinguish a judgment about a proposition from a categorical statement. Proposition modality, concerned with the speaker's judgment of the proposition. John may be at home now. It is possible that. John must be at home now. It is necessary that. Demek birinchi gapda, birinchi misolga qarasak, John may be at home now degani bu, John uyda bo'lishi kerak. Ya'ni uyda bo'lishi mumkin, uyda qolishi mumkin. Hozir degan ma'noda gap turibdi. Ikkinchi gapga qarasak, John must be at home now. Demak, bu majburiyat, ha? John uyda bo'lishi kerak degan ma'noda gap turibdi. Event modality. Event modality concerned with the speaker's attitude towards a potential future event. Look at this example. John may come in now. It is possible for John to come in now. Demek John hozir kelishi mumkin. John must come in now. It is necessary for John to come in now. Demek John hozir kelishi kerak, majbur, shart degan ma'noda gap turibdi. Epistemic. The speaker expresses his judgment about the factual status. John must be in the office. The speaker makes a firm judgment on the basis of evidence that the office lights are on, that is, he is not at home. Demak, birinchi gapga qarasak, John ofisda, aniq точно hozir John ofisda, nachun desa, ofisni chiroqlari yonib turibdi, u aniq uyingda emas, aniq faktlar bilan bog'langan. Masalan, boshqa misolni aytsak, bedayna kim Havajan must be at home now. Mandachi shuni deb turibman, because she is joining to the Zoom platform, online videos platform here. Nachun desa Havajon hozirni o'zida Zoom darslarga qatnashyapti. Nachun desa u o'yinda. Shuni misol aytish mumkin. Evidential. The speaker indicates the evidence they have for its factual status. For example, he is said to be extremely rich. Reported. He claims to have shut down a mosquito. Reported. Evidential degani bu, uning turida, demak biror bir ma'lumotni birov orqali eshitish orqali bilib oladi. Masalan, he is said to be extremely rich. U aytdiki, u juda ham boy. Demak, buni birovdan eshitganim orqali bilib oldi, uni boy ekanligini. Bu evidential deb aytiladi. Demak, the three types of epistemic modality: speculative, deductive and assumptive. Demak, bitta 3 turi berilgan. Speculative modality. John may be in the office. Uncertainty, a possible conclusion. So the speaker is uncertain whether John is in his office. Demak, John ofisda bo'lishi mumkin. Demak, gaplab turgan odam aniq ma'lumotga ega emas. U ofisda bo'lishi mumkin deb taxmin qilib turibdi. Bu spekulativ deb aytiladi. Deductive. John must be in the office. The only possible conclusion. The speaker makes a firm judgment on the basis of evidence that the office lights are on, that he is not at home. Demak, deduktiv turida точно aniq ma'lumotga ega bo'lsa, faktga ega bo'lsa aytiladi. Masalan, bunda aytib turibdi, John ofisda, aniq ofisda. Nechun desa, ofisning chiroqlari yonib turibdi, u uyinda emas, aniq faktga ega. Assumptive turida John will be in the office. A reasonable conclusion. The judgment is based on what is generally known about. For example, that he always starts at 8, that he is a workaholic. Demek assumptive turida u ma'lum bir sababga ko'ra xulosalanadi. Masalan, John ishda bo'ladi. Nechun desa, u hamisha soat 8 da ishda bo'ladi, u ishini juda ham yaxshi ko'radi degan ma'noda aytib turibdi. Aniq nechun desa, u yaxshi ko'radi ishini. Bu turi assumptive turi deb aytiladi. Evidential modality reported. Report, as I put, reported and sensory. The meaning of the evidentials: direct evidence, visual, auditory, sensory. Visual. Do you know what does it mean, visual? Visual. Do you know what does it mean, visual?
Visual again.
By seeing.
Able to see.
Yes, visual, it's meaning that to feel or to learn or to know something by seeing. Yeah. Auditory, it's meaning that to learn or to have information about by hearing. Sensory, to learn or to have some information about by feeling. Sensory, it's meaning sensor, by feeling or by touching. They are called direct evidence. In direct evidence, it can be second hand, third hand, and from folklore. Second hand, it's meaning that to know the information from the second person, or third hand from the now information from the third person, and from folklore from the folklore. In third, it's meaning that from results and from reasoning. Second hand evidence that the speaker claims to have heard of the situation described from someone who was a direct witness. Demek, to'shi aniq ko'rgan odamdan, guvoh odamdan ana shu narsani eshitish, bu second hand evidence deb aytiladi. Third hand evidence, the speaker claims to have heard of situation described but not from a direct witness. Masalan, third hand deganda to'shi aniq o'zi bilan ko'rgan odamdan emas, balki через odamdan eshitish deb aytiladi. Masalan, I heard this information from my neighbor, but my neighbor also knows this information from his father. Masalan, men bu ma'lumotni qo'shnimdan bilib oldim, lekin meni qo'shnim ham akasimdan bilib olgan ekan. Ana shunday через bilib olish bu third hand evidence deb aytiladi. Evidence from folklore, the speaker claims that situation described is part of established oral story. Demek, folklore degani og'zaki, aniq faktlarga asoslanmagan ma'lumot orqali eshitish. Masalan, bu bizani navaga o'rgaladi. It can be gossip, like gossip. Aniq ma'noga ega emas, faktga ega emas. It's not has facts or other information. It can be like a gossip. Is it clear what does it mean? Second hand evidence, third hand evidence, and evidence from folklore?
Yes.
Event modality. Event modality may be deontic and dynamic. The first one is deontic. The conditioning factors are external. It relates to obligation or permission emanating from external source. For example, deontic. John may come in now. It is permission. Yeah? Ruxsat berib turibdi. John hozir kelishi mumkin. Next one is John must come in now. It's obligation. Bu majburiyat o'zi. John hozir o'zida kelishi kerak. Dynamic. The conditioning factors are internal. It relates to ability or willingness, which comes from individual concern. For example, John can speak Hindi. It is ability. John will do it for you. It's willingness. Demek dinamikda bu xohish istaklar bilan, qobiliyat bilan bog'liq bo'ladi. Masalan, birinchi misolga qarasakina, John hindi tilda gaplab biladi. John bu ishni sen uchun qilishi kerak. Demak, u xohish istakni bildirib turibdi bu yerda. The most common types of deontic modality are the directives, where we try to get others to do things. For example, permissive. Example, you may go now. Obligative, you must go now. Permissive juda yaxshi bilasiz, permissive ruxsat berish degan ma'noda ishlatiladi. Obligative bu ko'pincha must qo'llanadi obligative deganda. May and must also express epistemic modality. Dynamic modality, there are appear to be two types of dynamic modality expressing ability and willingness. Ability can and volitive will. Demak, qobiliyatni aytganda can ishlatiladi, willingni ishlatganda, demak, volitive ishlatganda will ishlatiladi. Masalan, he can run 5 miles a minute. U 1 minutda 5 mil yurib biladi. Or why don't you go and see if John will let you stay? Nima uchun sen agar John sana qolishga ruxsat bersa, sen nechun bormaysan deb turibdi. Demak, bu yerda will ishlatilib turibdi. Can is used for both epistemic modality only when negated and for the deontic modality. Modal verbs. So we know that what kind of modal verbs? Will, shall, may, can, yeah, must, would, should, might, could, ought to, need to, dare to, a lot of, yeah? Modal verbs are used in 4 types of modality: epistemic, evidental, deontic, and dynamic. And the properties of English modals, here is given the will and shall, are often used to refer to the future time. The properties of modal verbs share with other auxiliary verbs be and have. In addition to that, they have formal features of their own. They don't co-occur. For example, will, can, may, shall, must, will. They don't have as form for their third person singular, mays, shalls, musts. Always will, must, shall. Demek es qo'shimchasi qo'shilmaydi. They don't have non-finite forms, to can, to may, or to must. Demek to qo'shimchasi qo'shilmaydi. Must has no past tense form, also the others do. Demek mustni o'tgan zamoni yo'q, enim. Must deb aytilmaydi. To'g'rimi? O'tgan zamoni bo'lmaydi uni. For example, could, should, would, might, undan mustasno. Only could is used to refer to the past time in direct speech. Faqatgina could ishlatilishi mumkin o'tgan zamonni ifodalaganda, o'zlashtirma gapda. To'g'rimi? There are formal differences between the modal verbs in their epistemic and deontic senses in terms of negation and tense. Now, for it will be for more understandable. We can watch a video about modality now. Is it visible? Yes,
Yes, teacher.
Feature used in language, particularly persuasive language, to create and refine meaning. So let's unpack it. Firstly, the definition of modality is looking at degrees of certainty, frequency, and obligation within language. We call these 3 elements the modality of the language. Let's look at some examples. So if I'm talking about certainty, there's different ways I could go about it. I could say something is true.
Look at these examples. Certainty. Demek certainty degani nima degani?
Aniqlik.
Aniqlik degani. Masalan, birinchi gapni o'qingani. Kim o'qiydi birinchi gapni? Kim o'qiydi?
May I?
Aha.
This is true. Bu to'g'ri.
Next one. This might be
True. Bu
this might
to'g'ri
be
bo'lishi
true.
mumkin.
Next one.
May I, teacher? This could be true. Bu to'g'ri bo'lish ehtimoli bor.
The last one.
There is a possibility this is true. Bu to'g'ri, shuningmi damla to'g'ri bo'lish ehtimoli bor.
To'g'ri bo'lish ehtimoli bor. And what do you think? Which one is a high and higher, low and lower?
Higher is this is true.
This is true. It is higher. You think that. This might be true is
Lower.
lower. This could be true. Lower maybe. let's see the video, and we can confirm, and we can know which one is high, which one is higher, low and lower. Look at the video.
Which is a high level of certainty, like I'm not, which makes me feel words, you would say is a high level of modality. It's a high level of certainty. This might be true. It's probably still a higher modality, but it's not quite as high as it was before. We get into the lower end of the spectrum when we say this could be true. And of course, when we start saying, oh, maybe it's true, or there's a possibility this is true, we're actually talking with a low level of modality or a low level of certainty. Let's look at a couple of other examples. So frequency is about how often something happens.
So you can say that first. So the first one is high. Demek eng aniq точно degan ma'noda gapirdik. This is true. Bu aniq, rostlikka to'g'ri. This might be true. Bu to'g'ri bo'lishi mumkin. Undan sal pastroq, ha? This could be true. Bu could ishlatildi, undan pastroq bo'ladi. There is a possibility in this true. The possibility ishlatildimi, undan ham past darajada aniqlik darajasi past degan ma'noda gapiribdi. Tushunarli bo'ldimi?
Yes.
Keyingisi.
Often something happens. So if you say I always get what I want, you're saying that there's a high level of frequency. You're also being very certain about that. So we would say that's a high level of modality. I mostly get what I want is again taking that down a notch. So we're getting slightly lower, but it's still fairly high. I sometimes get what I want. Now I'm starting to get to the lower end. Every now and then I get what I want. Okay, so you should see a pretty clear difference between where I started at the top and where I ended up. So if I apply that language again, when I say I always get what I want, I'm speaking in very high modality. When I start to reduce that frequency or talk about a lower frequency, I'm lowering the modality. Now here's a bit of a tricky thing just to keep your mind on. If I say I never get what I want, that's actually still a high modality because I'm showing that high level of certainty. So it's all of us, so these things aren't always separate. They kind of relate and work together. Okay, so if I'm seeming less certain or showing kind of less frequency or anything being less extreme in general, then I tend to be in a lower modality. Whereas when I'm very certain and very clear, it's always going to be a higher modality. Obligation talks about really how much you need to do it. You and I would both know that there's some things in life you need to do, and there's other things that you can do if you want. And that describes our level of obligation. I must clean my room. In this case, it suggests that I need to do it. There's no negotiation. I should clean my room, or I could clean my room. Lowers the level of obligations. I'm not saying I don't need to do it, but I can do it if I want. And of course, when I can write down the bottom, if I'm not too busy today, I can clean my room, which suggests that it's not even really my first priority, but if I want to, then I can. Right? In this case, we apply that language again. When the need, the level of obligation is high, we say it is a high modality. When the obligation, when I don't need to do it, but I have the choice to do it, well, in that case, we would say that the level is quite low. So hopefully you can start to see a connection here of what I'm talking about in relation to modality. Okay, it's really interesting on that. Let's give it a bit of context, because what you need to really understand is that we change the modality of our language to suit different circumstances. That's what context is all about. When we change our language, we call this tempering. Okay, we temper an argument or temper our language to be appropriate to a setting. There's no right way to do it. So let me give you some examples. Let's say you're a boss at a company. Okay, you can see here this guy looks pretty confident. He's speaking to his workers. If you've got a job, you might have a standard relationship like this. How should he address his employees when he wants them to do something? He could say, you must finish today or else. What he's done in this case is he's speaking with a very high modality. He's being very certain and giving a high level of obligation. Now, what might be Another
So, did you understand what does it mean obligation, frequency, and others? Tushunib turibmizku obligation nom narsa ekanligini, ha?
Ava.
Demak, bir boshda videoni boshida aytib o'tdi. Degrees of certainty va aniqlikni darajasi, frequencyni darajasi va obligation darajasini tushuntirib turibdi videoda. Demak, certaintyda birinchi misol berdi certaintyda. Birinchi aytgan gapimiz boradi-ku. Birinchi gap boradi-ku, birinchi misol, example.
This is true deb.
Ha, this is true. Ana deb boshlandi, to'g'ri. Ana shu this is true deb boshlangan example'imda eng birinchi gap bu high. Demak, aniqlik darajasi yuqori edi. Уже might, possibility gaplari qo'shilgandan keyin уже pasayib boshlaydi aniqlik darajasi. Frequencyda qaysi misol berdi? Frequencyda.
I always get what I want.
Aha, demak bunda eng qaysi yuqorisi qaysini deb tushuntirdi? Frequencyda. Bu darajasini, yuqori darajasi high deb qaysini tushuntirdi? Frequencyda.
Birinchi gapni I always deb boshlanadi.
To'g'ri. Shuni birinchi deb aytdi? High deb.
Always bor.
Nachin desa always bor. To'g'ri, молодец. Nachin desa always boradi. Obligation. Obligationda qaysini tushuntirib aytdi?
I clean my room. Ashu.
I clean my room. I clean my room or I must
Clean.
I must clean. Demak, obligation eng yuqori high formasida hamisha must ishlatiladi. Demak, must bo'lgandan keyin u high degan уже high deb hisoblanadi, must ishlatilgandan keyin. Bu videoda ana shu narsa tushuntirilgan, qisqacha aytsam sizlarga. Certainty, frequency and obligation. Now, we will do some online quiz according to the topic modality. Okay? Demak, hozir online quiz ishlaymiz, online test ishlaymiz. Sizlar bilan birgalikda. Hozir. Online quizda. Ko'rsam turibmi ekranimiz? Aha, demak, bu yerda 10 savol berilgan, ha? So, here is given 10 questions and also with answers. You can choose the right answer according to this question. Who wants to read the first question and give answer? Kim birinchisini o'qiydi? Javob beradi.
May I? Which word is an example of high modality? I think the answer is will.
The answer is will. You think that? The answer is will. Now let's see which word is an example of high modality. The answer is will. Yes, you are right. Which word is an example? So high modality is will because might may be a low modality. Demak, might pastroq, kuchsizroq formada ishlatiladi ekan, ha? Keyingisi.
May I? Which word is an example of low modality? May.
May, because may. Above we can speak about that. Must is a high modality. Yes, you are right. Next one. Who wants to read the second one?
May I?
Not, I'll tell you who wants the read. Sahiba, are you here? Sahiba.
Yes.
Please, Sahiba, read the third question.
Modality is the selection of words used to express how certain we are something.
Let's see the answer. You are right. Next one. Question 4. In this case, read Humara. Are you here? Humara.
Yes.
Humara, please read the fourth question.
Which words are modal words in the following sentence? Angela was definitely going to the mall because she had said that it was a must-see film. I think Definitely must.
Definitely and must. Your answer is here. Is this answer? Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
You are right. Next question. Who wants to read the next question? Maybe.
Which words are modal verbs in the following sentence? Steve said he might go to the footy match as he may not be able to get a ticket. Might, may.
Might and may. Let's see. You are right. Very good. Very well. And next one. Next question. In this case,
May I?
Nafisa, are you here? Nafisa.
Yes.
Nafisa, please read the question.
High modality language makes your persuasive writing much more descriptive.
Descriptive and convincing. Do you know the words, the meaning of these words? Descriptive and convincing. Tarjimasini bilasizlarmi bu gaplarni? Bu so'zlarni. Descriptive novi, convincing novi.
Convincing, ishonchli, ishonsa bo'ladigan.
Faktga asoslangan degani.
Tasviriy. Tasvirlab beradi.
Tasvirlab beradigan demak, tasvirlashga asoslangan degan ma'noda. Demak, bu yerda savolni o'qiymiz endi. High modality language makes your persuasive writing much more
Convincing.
Convincing. Why? Because high modality is based on facts and convincing facts. Yeah? Demak, high modality yuqori darajadagi modallik bu convincing faktga asoslangan hisoblanadi. Shuning uchun bu yerda javob convincing bo'ladi. Demak, keyingisini ko'ramiz. Who wants to read? Maftuna.
Low modality language makes your persuasive writing much more vague and uncertain.
Yes. Let's see. Vague and uncertain. Demak, bu yerda low modality degani past darajadagi, demak, bu yerda aniq emas, ishonchsiz, aniq emas, taxminiy nimalarga asoslangan bo'ladi. Bu yerda vague and uncertain bo'ladi javobimiz. To'g'ri. Keyingisi Mahira.
Which of the following is not a high modality word? Past bu yerda could.
Could, to'g'ri. Demak, javobni ko'ramiz. Demak, bu yerda kichik bilan baraganlar hammasi high modality word hisoblanadi. Must, should, certain. Bu yerda faqatgina could, not, ya'ni high modality word hisoblanmaydi. Demak, sen javobing to'g'ri. Keyingisi yana kimlar bor edi bizani aytaman. Sadaqat, are you here?
Yes.
Sadaqat, please read.
Which of the words in the following sentence in a low modal word? We can definitely win the championship game.
Which one?
Low modal, definitely.
Defiantly. This one.
Can.
Canmi?
Ava.
Demak, bu yerda javobimiz can, to'g'rimi? Qanot javobni ko'ramiz. To'g'ri. Which of the words in the following sentence is a low modal word? Demak, past modal wordni berib turgan bir so'z bu yerda can. Defiantly bo'lmaydi. Nachundasi defiantly bu
Adverb.
Adverb bo'libdi. Game ham bo'lmaydi, win ham bo'lmaydi. Demak, bu yerda can hisoblanadi. The last question. Who wants to read the last question?
May I read? Which of the words in the following sentence is a high modal word? You must stop smoking because it is bad for you. Must.
Yes, you are right. Must. That answer. So, Must. And here the right answer is must. So is it understandable? Today is our new topic, modality.
Yes.
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 Please, as a home task, you should look through all the materials on the Moodle platform on this topic modality, because here is given very necessary, useful information about the modality, PPT, also videos, also as tasks, assignments also, because on the final examination you can be give oral answer, or you can be written in written form. So if you read all the materials in time, you have not got any difficulties while coping with the final examination. Okay, so thank you for your participation. Our lesson is over. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good.